And this type of light is used in things like TV remote. If you see a TV remote, something like even any type of remote, they have something which is transparent. So the entire remote, if I show you a remote over here, the entire remote is black. It has a cover, but on the very, very top, that is the place where we try to move and point it towards something. That is the place where what happens, there is a transparent thing. Why? Because whenever we are tapping on the TV remote or any type of remote, the signal goes from this place to the device that is connected, whether it's a TV or monitor or camera. It can be anything, it can be even our phone. And you can try this at your side, that when you tap on this, when you are tapping on a button of a TV remote, you are not able to see any light. But when you tap it in front of a camera, you might be able to see something. I'll try to show it to you after our round one ends, when I have to zoom in the screen so you are able to see this, and you may replicate it. While if you are able to finish the round one quickly, grab a remote and we'll try to do it together. So you'll find many types of questions. Let us take a look what other questions you may come across. Yes. So the position of the James Webb Space Telescope is also very important. Unlike other telescopes, like we have the Hubble telescope, we have Astrosat, which is an Indian observatory in the sky. We have Indian observatories on ground, like the Himalayan Observatory or so many others. But there are observatories in the sky. There are space telescopes in the sky. Now, what happens is there are space telescopes which are orbiting Earth. This is a type of telescope which is not going to orbit the Earth. It is going to orbit the Sun, not like a planet. It has a special type of orbit which is known as Lagrange point. What is the speciality of Lagrange point? If you find Lagrange word is very hard, you can just remember it as L1, L2, L3. That's how you might find it in the any books, any articles. This is how we remember it. So there are five Lagrange points: L1, L2, L3, L4, L5. The only thing you need to remember about these points is when we are having an orbit, and at any point, whether it is L1, L2, L3, L4, or L5, the gravitational force is zero. And that means our spacecraft can be in that orbit for a very long period of time without using much fuel. And it's a very stable orbit. So once you go in any L1 or L2, L3, L4, L5, once you reach there, it is going to be very nice and easy and relaxing. So James Webb Space Telescope is taken to the L2 point, and now it has reached L2 point. It took 30 days to go there, and it has gone very far away. Imagine where our other telescopes are, other satellites are, International Space Station is. Then you go further, then the moon comes, and then you have to go four times more further. That's how far away James Webb Space Telescope has gone. Because it has gone so far away, do you think if astronauts have to do something, if they want to install a new device, if they have to update something, or some of the mirror is not operating correctly, they have to change the mirror, can that be done? It will not be able to do, because it has traveled so far away, and astronauts till now we don't have the technology to send them so far away. And that is why this mission was taking so much time. So you might see one of these questions like, when was the mission started? When was the plan of mission started? So it started before everybody of you was born, before even before I was born. It was started in 1996. That's many years ago. More than 25 years ago, the development of James Webb Space Telescope started, and it had to launch in 2007. That's the age I'm guessing you were being born. You might have seen the launch when you were very young, but there was too much risk and so many designs changed that the telescope took a very long time. Finally, it was launched. And when was it launched? How to remember it? Last year, and on the day of the Christmas. That's a big present, just like Santa. That was the time when this telescope was launched in space. And the type of light it observes is the infrared light. These are some of the important points you should know. And any telescope is launched after that, you will be able to see that James Webb Space Telescope is still the best. It is the biggest telescope that we have launched in space. All the other telescopes are very small. And another thing, like, what is the size? The size is as big as a tennis court. So we have things which are, let's say, big as televisions, big as a small room, big as a kitchen, but this is as big as a tennis court, and tennis courts are very big. Next time you are in a tennis court, try to imagine that is how big the telescope is. It's really, really big. So now we have 1 minute, just 1 minute, 50 more seconds to go, and then round one will be over. So everybody hurry up before the round one closes. You have to solve these barrels which are here on earth before we move somewhere else. 30 more seconds to go. If you have solved all the barrels, bring a TV remote or any kind of remote you have. Any remote is going to work. We're going to try something. You're going to need your remote and you're going to need a camera. If you're using your phone, then you will have to wait. Just remember how it is done. If you're using your laptop, you can try it while taking the class, or just look carefully and after the class you can repeat it. Okay, so don't worry. So 3, 2, 1, and the timer is up. The timer is up. The timer is up. So now we are going to go. Everybody hurry up. If you have not gotten the time to bring any remote, go and bring them now. We're going to try something. 5 seconds to bring a remote. Okay, so the time is up. The time is up. Have you brought in a remote? Does all the students who had gone to bring a remote, do you have a remote? Yes, OP or no OP?
Yes, Anupati.
Okay, so we'll try something. Let's see if we are able to do it. So what do you have to do? I have a remote over here. This is usually used to change the lights. Like you can see, there is a blue light on me. That's the purpose of this remote. I don't have a TV remote with me, but any remote is going to work. So what do we have to do? Find a camera. Now that is why I was telling, if you have a laptop, you can just turn on your camera inside the laptop, and there is a special application for the camera, or you can start a Zoom meeting. If you start a Zoom meeting too, the camera is going to open itself. So that is the simplest way. If you don't know where is the camera application, or you can open the camera inside your phones. So you can take your phone and open it inside your phone as well, and do it along with me. Or so let's try. What do you have to do? First of all, see it. Tap on one of the buttons and try to see if you are able to see any light that is coming out of this remote. Tap 4 buttons, any buttons you want. See if any button is giving any light. The next thing that you have to do is take this and point it towards the camera. For example, I'm pointing it over here, and you can see as soon as I point, there is something of red color which you are able to see. I am not able to see it this easily with my own eyes, naked eyes, but as soon as I point it towards the camera, there is a red light that is coming. Now, till now, I have not even pressed any button, but I'm still able to see the source better. Once I press the button, let's see if anything changes, if I'm able to see anything more. So now I'm trying to press this button, and let us see if something happens. So I am not able to see much. Let us try with some other buttons. So not, I think you may, yeah, it's a bit hard, but you may be able to see some light which is coming. So tell me if you are able to see some light that is able to come over here, okay? Are you able to see some light that is coming?
Yes, yes, yes. Copy.
Now it is your chance to repeat the same thing with your own remote. Okay. So what can you do for this? As I said, you can open your Zoom meeting. That is the easiest way, and turn on your camera and then try to point the remote. Otherwise, you can open it in your phone. So go to your camera and you have to point it towards yourself. Or otherwise, even if you point it towards the other direction, you should be able to see it. And what you will notice is this infrared light is something that we cannot see it with our own eyes. But when we are using any other device which has a camera, it can be anything, our laptop camera, any other web camera, or the camera of our phone, we are very easily able to see the light that comes. And I can see it again if I'm trying it in my remote as well. So if you see over here, I'll try it, and there we go. The light is coming, and the light is better in my phone for some reason. So it depends. Maybe the camera which is inside the phone is able to detect infrared lights better. The camera which is in the webcam is maybe not able to detect it as good. So you can try it. If your phone is detecting it better, if your webcam is detecting better, if your somebody else's, your friend's phone is detecting it better, or if your laptop camera inbuilt is detecting it better. So if any of the students did try it, if they did try it, were you able to see a light?
Yes, OP.
Yes. Do you know what is the most interesting thing about this light? Even if you try to take your remote, so this is something that you should keep in handy. These are the kind of facts. So this type of light, let's suppose if the entire room is filled with dust, or if it is filled with smoke, if some accident happened and the entire room is filled with smoke, even I'm not able to see. Just like we see when it is very very cold and chilly, what happens that time is we are not able to see anything. It's very very white. We're not able to see whether it's smoke or fog. And this type of light, infrared light, is something that we will be able to see. So if you have a glass which can see infrared light, and if your friend is tapping on a remote which is throwing out these infrared waves, you will be able to see it, even if the entire area is filled with opaque things, even if it is filled with the gas, with smoke, with fog, no matter what kind of thing is present in the air, you will be able to see this infrared light. And that is why this light is used in our telescope. Why is it used? Why is it so better to detect it? It is better because this telescope will be able to show us anything that we want to see. It will show us nebula which are there. It will show us galaxies which have a lot of dust inside them, stars which are hidden in nebulae, stars which are hidden in star clusters, which have a lot of gas and dust, and other things which make the light impossible to see in the visible light. And that is why this telescope is so special. And with that new information and new enthusiasm, we are going to go into the round two. I am giving you the access in three, two, one. And now the barrels are outside the planets. So, all the inner planets that we have, four inner planets, that's where the barrels are located. And you have 7 minutes and 41 seconds to solve these next barrels. And there is something more interesting which is there, that just like this telescope is able to see such infrared light which can pass through the gas and dust, we are lucky because this is the gas, or this is the light that is found in galaxies which are incredibly far away. So the most earliest galaxies which were born very very soon after the Big Bang. When did the Big Bang happen? 14.7 billion years ago. So, if you're talking about the Big Bang, which happened 14.7 billion years ago, first there were no stars, nothing at all. Slowly, the first atoms formed, and then the first stars formed, and then after the first stars, the galaxies started to form. So, the very, very first few galaxies that have been formed, we are not able to see them using optical telescopes like Hubble Space Telescope. Hubble has taken such beautiful images, but unfortunately, we are not able to see the galaxies which are very, very old from our perspective. They appear old now, but if we are talking with the opposite way, if we are talking that right after the Big Bang, then these were the most earliest galaxies. Now, all those galaxies, they are very far away from us, and what happens is they are visible in this infrared light. And that is why when the James Webb Space Telescope is looking at galaxies, it is not looking at galaxies which are new, which are nearby. It is looking at galaxies which are old and which are far away. and it is going to give us pictures of galaxies which nobody has ever seen. Scientists don't even have any names for those galaxies because there was not a telescope that could see that far away. So imagine how popular is Andromeda galaxy, or we know about M87 galaxy, Whirlpool galaxy. So many galaxies have names, and we hear their names one way or another. But there are galaxies that have no names. We do not know where they are located, what are they made up of, how do they look like, and the Webb telescope is going to give us their images, their data, and so much new information, and that is why new discoveries are also going to come. And when is this all going to start? The telescope itself is still taking some images, but it is not actually has started doing its scientific measurements, scientific observations. It is only doing a check, just like how before a big event we are doing some checks. So it is doing a very long check of 5 months. After the 5 months, and it was launched in December, so we're already halfway through. In just 2 more months, the James Webb Space Telescope is going to actually release the best images, and one of its first images of any star or any galaxy, and we are going to see something that nobody has ever seen before. That is going to be very, very exciting. So in the month of June and July, we'll start seeing how the universe looks in infrared, which is very far away from us. And then there is this other thing about aliens. So you are very excited, I know, about aliens whenever we talk about aliens. So this is a telescope that is also going to help us in understanding what are the places where alien life can be found. Where can they be found? If they are to be found in our solar system, we already have upcoming missions like Europa Clipper, or we have missions like Perseverance 2020 ExoMars. So whatever the locations are inside our solar system, we can actually go there and see it. But this is a very small sample, just 8 planets. What if we go beyond and look at all the exoplanets of our galaxy? And that is what the Webb telescope will do. It will look at the exoplanets, specifically in the habitable zones, which are rocky, which might have water, and it is going to detect any evidence of life if there is there. Organic compounds. What should be present in the atmosphere of a planet which has life? We have a question like this and we need an answer like this. This is something interesting that is going to happen with this telescope, and that reminds me this particular question or this particular thing. There is going to be soon a very, very special NASA scientist session, the next one happening on 23rd April, where the scientist is going to talk about are we alone? And that is a very, I cannot tell, I cannot wait to tell you how exciting that is going to be, because that is not just an interaction, that is also going to be, you are going to hear some of the interesting stories from a scientist who works on detecting aliens, detecting extraterrestrial life, what it means to be a NASA scientist who's finding aliens. So there is actually a job like this, and people do it. And if you want to become a scientist who's detecting aliens, who's detecting exoplanets which might have life, that is the kind of session you should attend, which is going to happen on 23rd April. And if you want to be a part of that session and interact with that scientist, you should get the new NASA ticket, the golden chance, and we'll see if you get it, you'll be able to interact with them when the session happens. So we have 1 minute and 55 more seconds to go. Everybody hurry up. This is the last round. We have 1 minute and 48 seconds to go. What other question can be there? One more thing we did not discuss so far was the sunshield of this telescope. This telescope is not going to have the same temperature. The temperature on the side which is facing the sun, so if a telescope we have, it is going to have two sides. One which is facing the sun, the one which is not facing the sun and is completely dark. The one that is facing the sun, that is going to be so hot, it is going to be the hot, even hotter than the hottest places we have here on earth. There is a place which is known as Death Valley. I don't know if you have heard of it, but search it later on. Death Valley is a place, like, look at the name Death Valley, it's so scary. So this is a place which is one of the hottest places here on earth, and on the other end, the one end which is not facing the sun, which is completely dark, That end of the James Webb Space Telescope is going to be colder than even Antarctica. So very extreme conditions on the Webb telescope. One is hotter than Death Valley, another one is colder than even Antarctica. And how is it able to make it so cold? Because it has a sun shield, a five-layered sun shield, which is going to protect it from meteorites, which is going to protect it, of course, from the sun, so that everything is nice and cool, and the Webb telescope can do its observation. Because it is detecting at very faint light, infrared light, it needs extremely cool temperatures, and we get them because of this sunshine. So now we have just 10 more seconds to go. Everybody, hurry up. In 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And that was the end of the round two. So, how many barrels were you able to solve? There were four on Earth and four in space. Let me know which student were able to solve all weight, or at least five or six. How many were you able to solve?
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
All.
I
hoping
was
there
able to
are no better.
one.
One. One is you should be able to solve more. So what we can do, if you are able to solve one, is you might have some issue which is coming. If there is some issue, you can contact us. You can contact the customer support team. If you are not able to find other barrels, where are the location of barrels, where to find them? So these are located on different planets. So if I show you where are the barrels located in the space, I'll go near them one by one by one. So let us see where are these barrels located. One is over here, so I'm on top of it. And which planet is it nearby? It's not near Jupiter. So we'll see which planet is it nearby to. There should be a planet somewhere. So this was near Venus. And if we go further, we are going to find one barrel which is near Earth. So this is how much distance you should cover. We saw one barrel which was near Venus. We are going and going and going. As I told you, there were no barrels in the outer solar system, only inner. So this is the second barrel which I have came across, and the position was here. So this was the second barrel. This was near Earth. Then I have Mercury over here, and this was the third barrel that I could see. So I just went through it. This was the third barrel. And when I'm going near Mars, this was the fourth barrel. So these were the positions of the four barrels over here. Very, very close to the asteroid belt. Why? Because there is an asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. That's why we were able to see it. So these were the locations of all four barrels. And let us take a look where are the barrels located inside the Earth as well. So let us go inside the Earth and see their locations as well. Where are these barrels located? And if you use boosters or if you use your hoverboards, you are able to solve them even faster. And that is why all the curiosity points you're getting from solving the barrels, you will be able to use them to buy these new assets which are coming. So let us see. One of the barrels was placed near the launch pad. So I'm currently going near the launch pad and I will be able to see it. I'll let you know when I see it. The barrel which is over here. So you can see, you can remember the locations are same. So if you already know what are the locations, it's going to be very easy that where are those 4 to 5 locations where the barrels are over here. So this is the first barrel, and let us see where is the second barrel. Second barrel is near the light which is coming. So we are going near the second barrel now, and this is the second barrel near the river. So one was near the spaceship and the other one is near the river. So over here, let us see where is the third barrel. Third barrel is there on the shore which has a cliff on it. So you can see two rocks from here, two types of rocks. The one which is on left hand side near the river, that is where the third barrel is placed. So it takes a little bit time, but if you have the hoverboard, you can go and cross this distance very, very fast. But even if you don't have it yet, if you're still saving up for it, you can still cross it in a very less time. So this is where the third barrel is. Where are more barrels? So let us see. And there should be one more. I think it's in the jungle, so we'll see. There are no barrels over here. Yeah, it is on the top. So for this, you have to go in the straight line and just keep on going and going. You have to cross the jungle, and it is there on the top of the mountain, and that's where the fourth barrel is. So these are the locations. I told you where the four barrels were in space and where the four barrels were on Earth. So the next time when you are joining, hopefully you are joining for the 6 p.m. session where we are announcing which student is buying which assets. And if you know the locations already, it will be easier for you to solve them. So I'm still going. As you can see, it takes time, and definitely, if you have a hoverboard, it is going to be very, very fast. And you should also know where are you respawning, because I respawned here near the jungle only. It would have been wiser to go near this barrel rather than to take a 360 round. So now you can see it is actually like taking me 1 minute to even reach there. So we have Light Einstein, wonderful name, and Janak as well. Good evening, Janak and Light Einstein. So this is the location of fourth barrel. This is where you can find it, and that means so these were the location of four barrels. And if you are here, you are able to see those three barrels very very quickly. So even if you forget where are the barrels, just come on the top, and then you will be able to see all the barrels wherever we are, whether we are on the moon or on the Mars. Then also you should do the same. You should come on a mountain and then try to search for barrel. Now we are going and exiting the earth. And we're very close. So once again, if you are joining for the 6 p.m., what is going to be the topic? The topic is going to be survival